All right, very excited to talk to our next guest. He is a monster fight coming up on June 26th in Atlanta, Georgia. As you guys can watch this on Showtime pay-per-view, he's taking on Gervonta Davis. It is the WBA super lightweight champ of the world, Mario Barrios. Thanks so much for the time, man. Really appreciate it.
Oh man, likewise.
I've learned just before this interview, you're a Spurs fan? Like that's
Yeah,
who you ride. You're from San Antonio, so that makes sense. That's who you ride with.
yeah. The pros I told you, I have to, man. Yeah, right here.
Oh, there it is. There it is right there. Understood. All right. Well, your hometown. So I mean, you obviously get the pass for that. It's not like you're jumping on the bandwagon, but listen, Heat Spurs, that's almost a blood feud right there between those
Yeah.
well, Mario, you were how old were you when those finals were going on? That's 8 years ago. Like that's so you're a teenager when this is going down, the Heat and Spurs.
Yeah. I was
All right, so that's
I
like
was 18.
that's like prime sports watching. Were you like how much were you into those series?
Oh man, super. Man, after those series, I mean, everybody in San Antonio knows, in the finals, anytime the Spurs are in there, every victory, we go downtown, we
Yes.
go honking, we go all over. And yeah, no, we show mad love, for the Spurs, win, lose. I'm always repping.
Do you have any bad feelings though about you guys, turning off the air conditioner and smoking out the heat in that series? Some chicanery going on there, my friend.
Yeah, no, for sure, man.
All right, man. You got an absolute monster coming up later this month. A monster fight with Gervonta Davis. Just your reaction. How did this come to you? Like you hear Gervonta, everybody kind of thinks, oh, he's going to stick in the either at 130 or he's going to be in the 135 pool. Did it blindside you at all that like, hey, he's actually going to jump 2 weight classes and he wants to take on the champ?
Yeah, no, man. I was super surprised, to hear his name get brought up. But when I did hear about it, I know the name that Gervonta has, in boxing and even outside of the boxing world. So this was a type of fight, I know, that can catapult my name, in the sport. And even if you're not, a boxing fan, you're gonna hear about Mario Barrios. So this is a huge opportunity for me. It's a huge step up, for both of us in our careers. And overall, man, I'm just we're very excited.
And so when you find this out, like, is it yes immediately, or like are you foaming at the mouth to make it happen, or is there any trepidation, or this was like, yes, obviously big name, we know like what the reward is because you take out Gervonta Davis, as you said, a lot of eyeballs are going to be on it.
Yeah, no, man. Like I said, man, I was when his name was brought up, I was like, man, I was like, let's make it happen. But the first thing I said was, I was like, I'm not going down to 135 to fight him. And then my managers were like, no, like he wants to come up to fight you. And I was like, oh, like even better.
So like you've been, I mean, listen, you're great at this division, you're undefeated, and you definitely inflict punishment on a lot of guys. When you're taking on a guy who is coming up, when you've game planned for this, is there any wanting to maybe gimmick it more? Like people have talked about, oh, is he going to come in a little extra heavy? Is he going to try and cut more so he balloons up? Or do you feel like you're going to use what's worked? Like you've had such a successful career already. Do you just say, hey, what's brought us to the dance is what we're going to do? Or do you feel like, hey, we're taking on a guy who is naturally smaller, we do want to play that game a little bit more?
No, yeah, going to this fight, we're sticking, with what has always worked for me. I just got to go in there on fight night, continue to do what I do best, at the weight that I have always, the way that I've been fighting now, for the last couple of years. I'm very comfortable, in this division. And, at the end of the day, it's Gervonta who has to prove, he can jump up, and he can handle, being in there with, a full blown junior welterweight.
And I mean, like this whole scope from like, it feels like from like 130 to 147, like you guys are such, like that whole grouping is just on fire. Like, is there part of you that does keep an eye on like, hey, I want to start, leaping around after maybe you take out Gervonta Davis? Like, do you want to be in the mix and try and go undisputed at 140? Do you have other weight class goals in mind? Like, what do you want to see after, obviously you plan on getting the win? Like, what is the long-term goal for you?
I mean, the long-term goal for me, is to just continue capturing titles in the division that I'm in. Again, not looking past Gervonta. I have a huge task in front of me, but given we go out there on the 26th and handle our business, man, I would love a shot, at the unified champion, Josh Taylor. So I'm gonna do whatever I can, to get closer to more belts and just continue, to make my city of San Antonio proud.
What is it? How excited are you to be in Atlanta? Fans, people being back in the building. Like, is this? Are you excited for this? Going and getting the people back? Because your last fight, were people back at your last fight?
Yeah. I was on one of the first cards back with the live audience, but this one I think is full capacity. So I'm looking forward, to being back, in a full blown arena, with screaming fans.
It's wild, man. Like I was down here in Miami, so Friday was the Logan Paul Floyd Mayweather card that was on. I was in the Jacksonville card with the UFC coming back. Like I'm telling you, man, like people are like excited to be back, like and going out and just seeing things. Like, are you prepared for what that's going to be? Because I know you fought in front of big audiences before and you've been in big environments before, but I feel like, with even like you see in the NBA, fans are going crazy. People are running on the court, throwing things. Like, it feels like people forgot how to behave. So are you excited to be a rabid environment like that? Because, even at fights, I'm sure you've seen at every level of fights, people would get a little tilted and crazy in the crowd. And now you think about they've been pent up for you. Like, are you excited to see what that looks like and to perform in front of that?
Oh yeah, man, absolutely. Man, I'm excited, to be, like around all of that chaos again, and to be, part of the reason, why, everybody is getting so hyped up, in the audience.
Did you watch this past weekend? Were you into the sideshow of seeing Floyd versus Logan?
Nah, I mean, I wasn't gonna go out of my way to watch it, but I was at the gym and I was like, man, I was like, if that happened, to come across somewhere that's showing it, I was like, I wouldn't mind, pulling over, and trying to check it out, but I didn't end up getting a chance to watch it. But from what I heard, I mean, the undercard was apparently very good, because
Yes.
there was actually some real boxing fights and other exhibition, but I didn't get a chance to check it out.
That's all right, man. Yeah, listen, you didn't miss much. You got it was like 3 rounds of like Floyd actually like trying to go for it. And then I mean it was a hug fest like the last rounds. But it's an interesting thing, like, man. Do you think that out of any of this YouTube stuff, like, do you think that there is I guess an element of people kind of seeing what the different levels of boxing are? Like, do you think that in a way it can show people, hey, like you realize guys like you, guys like Gervonta, how much you've put into this and how just damn good you are at it, as opposed to I kind of just pick it up as a thing that I like to do to go, showcase in front of my previous fans. Like, is there a level of you that thinks that the spotlight that the sport will get from this will show just how good the pure champion boxers are?
Yeah, no, definitely. There's pros and cons, to that this whole like new wave of boxing entertainment, I guess you could say. But definitely, it does show, man, that there is levels to this. There's reasons why it takes fighters, like myself so long, to get to the very top, to get just to make everything happen, and to have skill while doing it.
Yeah, it's and there's so many guys. It's like they're looking for their big break. I mean, I know many guys down here in Miami that they're just looking for that first opportunity to be on television because of, just whatever, the right opportunity hasn't come around. So those opportunities of being and having the spotlight are just so huge to you guys, because a lot of people just have the talent, and they just haven't been exposed in the right way. It's so I guess there's a positivity from that thing. It's just kind of knowing, people realizing, I guess, who's actually good at this and who is just kind of doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I mean, absolutely, man. Like I said, I mean, it shows, man, all the work that we put in, all the sacrifices that we make. I mean, it didn't happen overnight.
There is I mean, there's a lot of hype that comes obviously with fighting a Gervonta Davis, because he is a bigger name in the sport, like you mentioned beforehand. Do you expect any gamesmanship, jitters, any of that type of stuff? Just because the Floyd Mayweather circus will also come with it because he's going to be there promoting it. I imagine. Like, are you excited for all of that stuff and everything that's going to come with that and more shine on you, or is it like are you having to mentally prepare any differently because of all the extra stuff?
No. I mean, I'm prepared for it. All exposure is good exposure, and I'm looking forward, to just continuing, getting my name out there, and just showing everybody, the type of fighter that I am.
Well, looking forward to the show, man. Everybody go buy this fight. It's going to be a hell of I mean, it really is a hell of a card between Mario defending his belt against Gervonta Davis. Locally, Erickson Lubin, who's training in Delray Beach. If you guys want to local ties, taking on Jason Rosario, so you guys can watch that as well. It's also on the card. Really, really, I mean, thank you for giving us some time, man. Looking forward to the showcase. Stay healthy throughout the rest of these few weeks, and we're looking forward to the show, man. Thank you for giving us some time.
Oh yeah, man. Likewise. Appreciate you, Brendan.